Okay, so what is an electronic mail? We already know that in the earlier days we have used the concept of sending a message or a information through using the post letters. So it is similar to that, but in this, as the in the earlier days we have the ARPANET, but it was using or it was enabled us for you to send only the text messages. But later on, the improvement has been carried out, and we have the electronic mail. That means not only by just sending the information or not only just sending a text information, we can also send images, graphics, audio clips, video clips, and so on. Variety of other formats of programs also we can send using the electronic mail. So in this session we are going to discuss about the architecture of email system and services. Okay, so what are the entities that are available in that, that is the user agent, message formats, and message transfer agent, and final delivery. So how this task carried out, so let us understand this with the basic diagram. So this is the architecture and service of the email. So we have different entities here. We have this user agent, and then the message transfer agent. We can call them as UA. This as we can call them MTA. Similarly, in the receiving side also we have this MTA, message transfer agent, and a receiver user agent. And then we have this SMTP. That is basically this for email service we require two protocols basically, that is SMTP and POP. Also we required MIME and other protocols as well, whether it is a file transfer protocol like FTP and other things also are required, but main importantly we required SMTP. So this is the name itself stands as simple mail transfer protocol. So by using this protocol, I mean this protocol gives a guidelines or the rules that has to be used when you want to send a message from the sender to the receiver or from the source to destination. So let us understand the working of it. So this is the sender side, and there is the user agent. So what this will give is this provides the graphical user interface. Like user agent provides a GUI interface, like you need to log into the email system or any of the like Gmail, Yahoo, and so on, and it provides you a graphical interface where you can use your mouse and keyboard, and you can add, I mean you can compose the email, or you can attach a file to that, and you can from and so to date, all those information you can send it using the user agent. So it basically provides a graphical user interface. Then comes the message transfer agent. So this is like a intermediate buffer or a storage space where your emails will be sent. So in the user agents, it gives us the facility to prepare the email, you can say, or prepare the message. So it is like a composing the email. Once the email is composed, so the act of sending the email, that we can call it as the mail submission. So once the mail is submitted, it will be transferred to the message transfer agent. So this message transfer agent will store all the emails that the sender has sent, and it will be present here. Once the network traffic, I mean once the line is free, this message transfer agent will use the SMTP protocol. With the help of that, it will send to the receiver side. So message transfer agent's task is to send the email from the source to the destination. Okay, the smooth delivery of email from the source message to the destination message will be carried out by the message transfer agent. And then comes the mailbox. This is at the receiving side. Again we have this mailbox where your information or the whatever the message that you have sent, that will be present in the mailbox. So this will allow you to order the messages. Okay, so you can group them, or it will check whether it is a spam or a junk file, or it is actually a sent from the authenticated person or no. That will be comes in the mailbox. So from the mailbox, again in this side we have this message transfer agent. Again the receiving side, all the messages will be present at the like a, this we can call it as like a intermediate server, we can say. So there your information will be there, and through that you can receive your all the mails. So in this scenario, basically SMTP will be working in the source side, and one more we have this the POP. Okay, so POP, that protocol will work in the receiver usage agent. So what this SMTP will do, SMTP will do the task of push operation, and POP will do the task of pull operation. That is, when a user is sending a message or the email, that will be sent to the message transfer agent. So for that we require this SMTP. So what this SMTP will do, this SMTP will push the message to the message transfer agent. Similarly, in the receiving side, we have the POP. So because it has to be sent to the user side, so the POP protocol will help us to will ensure that the messages will be pulled from this message transfer agent, and the same messages will be sent to the receiver side, that is the user agent. So we have basically this all will be categorized into mail submission, and then comes the message transfer, and then the final delivery. So let us understand this in a more detailed way with the notes that we have. So I'll quickly take on to this in detail. So this is the architecture that we have discussed. So the user agent allows us to read and send the email. It is a program that provides a graphical interface. As we know, when you open any Gmail, it provides a graphical interface. And earlier days, it was only of text-based, command-based interface was present. But these days, we have this graphical user interface. Like we can use Outlook, or many facilities are available. So with that, we can see the graphical user interface. It includes means to compose messages and replies to messages. So basically, user agent task is to generate or to get ready with the message. So composing of the email will be done by the user agent, and also it allows us to display the incoming messages. So whatever messages you received, okay, emails you received, that will be carried out, or that will be taken care by the user agent. And organize messages by filling, searching, and discarding them. So it also, the task of user agent is also to search the messages. So if you go to the your inbox or sent items, so where if you type your any email ID, you can search the email system, or you can search emails all with that particular email ID. Or even if you search in the sent items, okay, or the outboxes, what all messages you already sent, you can just search it and you can get all the information. The act of sending new messages into the mail system for delivery is called as the mail submission. So uh, when you prepare a message and then you start sending it, so the sending of new message into the mail system, so the message transfer agent, so that process we can call it as the mail submission. So what are this basically tasks that are carried out? So we can have message folders here like inboxes, spam, junk, and also you can segregate it. So like you can create your own folders. Like if you are having a mail, if you are using your personal mail, like you can use your personal mail, or you can use your official mail for only office purposes. But if you are using only one email, you can segregate it in terms of different folders. Like one you can keep it as office work, one you can keep it as college work, one you can give it as for competitive exams, or one you can keep it for the other purposes as well. So you can segregate them, and you can put, whenever you receive a message, you can just transfer it to one of these folders. Like if it is related to your work, you can put it in the folder called as work. If it is related to some entertainment, we can keep it as an entertainment, and so on. So like message folders we have got different message folders here that will be available. And also message summary, so it highlights the key fields of message such as prompt, subject, date, and time. So this message summary, in the sense what, uh, at what time you have received and from whom you have received, all the information will be present in the message summary. Next is the mailbox search. So it facilitates searching for emails in the mailbox. So whenever you open your mailbox, you can go for the search option. Okay, so if you type just the name of the user, name of the sender, or any mail ID, okay, the we can say any keyword that is related to that will be searched. Suppose there are something, say GCC BCA. So if you are searching that, related, all the emails that you have received with related to GCC BCA will appear, okay, whenever you use this search option. So also you can sort them, you can click on the newer emails or the older emails and so on, you can search it. Next comes the some of the other features of the user agents are automatic responders. They automatically respond to messages. For example, if you go for the sign up option of any application that you are using, so the moment you click on for sign up and you fill all the details, automatic message will be sent to you. Or for example, when you are using any what you can say internet transactions, that time also you will get automatic messages. So that is with automatic responders. Okay, so the OTP will be generated automatically. So these are the automatic responders. Then the vacation agent, these are the programs that examine each incoming message and send a default reply whenever the user is on vacation. User is on vacation in the sense what, when you send a email, it need not be that email basically is a asynchronous mode. Whenever you are sending an email, it is a asynchronous mode. That means both the sender and receiver should not be online at the same time. That means when I am sending an email message, you may not be online all the time. Okay, but still the message will be delivered to you. But when you log into your system, you will get to know about it. So basically we need to understand that email is a asynchronous mode. That is both the sender and the receiver should not be online all the time, or they should not be connected directly. It will be present in the server and through that you can receive it. So if the person is not there, these are the program that examine each coming in message and send a default reply. So if you are not there, automatically a message will be sent that user is not available here. So you can set such parameters and automatically a message will be sent like, today I am busy, so I cannot reply, or I cannot attend the meeting today. So such messages you can directly send it. And also signing the block. So whenever you are sending a message, like you will be having subject will be there, and after the information you will be having at the end, you can have this what you can say, we can add a signature like regards so and so your name, and then your work profile, or what position where you are working. So these information can be managed in the user agent. So these are the things that comes under the user agent. Next we have is the message transfer agents. So these are like basically background processes, we can say, which are running behind the scene, the message from the source to destination. So the task of the message transfer agent is to smooth delivery of message from the source to the destination. So the message transfer agents are the processes that are running in the background. So their job is to move email through the system from the originator to the recipients with the help of the SMTP. So basically it uses the SMTP where the messages will be pushed to the message transfer agent from the sender side. Typically, email systems support 5 basic functions. So let us look into this. Already you know this, basically composition, that is you need to prepare the message, creating messages and answers. Transfer refers to moving messages from the originator to the recipient. Reporting has to do with the telling the originator what happened to the message. So reporting is what, when you send a message, sometimes if you use a wrong email ID, or if there is any network issue, you will get a reply that message is not sent, or the ID you have that sent, it is not a valid ID. So even the same case happens with your SMSs as well. When you send a SMS in your mobile phone, you will get a reply that message is been delivered or your message is not sent. So there is some issue in the network. So all this information that is carried out, that we call it as the reporting. Next is the displaying. Incoming message is needed so people can read their email. So when you send an email, it will be displayed to you, or when you receive an email, it will be displayed to the user. This position is the final step and concerns what the recipient does with the message after receiving it. So this is with related to, so when once if I receive the message, whether I read it or no. So when you read it, the color will change of your email inboxes. Whenever you receive the messages in the inboxes, the type will automatically change, and whether the messages will be read by the user, or he transferred it to someone else, or whether he forwarded it to some other people or no, all those things we can call it as the disposition. So next important feature is the sending an email. So to send an email message, a user must provide the message, the destination address, and some other parameters. So whenever you want to send an email, basic required is to whom you are sending. You can send it to a single user, you can send it to a group. Like for example, if you are sending an entire message to your class, or to some to all your employees, so you can use this. The same message will be sent in groups to more number of peoples. The message can be produced with the text editor. Basically, we can use a even if you go for compose message, there will be an editor available. So you can type there, you can change the fonts, some basic features will be available there, or you can use it with the attach the emails as well with a special text editor built in the user agent. So it depends on which type of message mail system you are using, whether you are using a Gmail or Outlook and so on. So it depends on that. You will get a text editor where you can compose these things and we can send the email. Next is the reading the email. So typically when a user agent is started up, it looks the user's mailbox for incoming email and displays the summary of user's email, like from where you have received it, who is the sender, at what time he has sent. All this will be available in when you read a email. So we have the message formats. The key idea in message format is the distinction between the envelope and its contents. So envelope is like wrapping up of your mail. So in the envelope you will be having from to address, okay, and from where you have sent, or if it is a forwarded message, who is the owner, I mean from first from where it has been sent and who has forwarded it. So all this information will be present in the envelope. The envelope encapsulates the message. It is used for routing the message from the source to destination. Like we know that envelope will have the information from the source to the destination. So it basically contains the header, body, and different message format. I mean, it uses the standard, that is RFC 822, or the latest one MIME that uses is RFC 5322. So this RFC are the standards given by the OSI model. I mean, given by this standards. So if you take up an example of this email, so let me, so this is the earlier one with the, I mean, like the using the letters and all, and this is the latest one. So I mean, paper mail and electronic email. So already you know this envelope consists of all these details, and then you will be having a message. Okay, from to address, all will be information will be available, and from where. So this is what we can call it as the signature. Like you can set this signature whenever you are sending this. You can set that regards and so your name and your profile. All this information you can attach it. So whenever you are sending an email, this signature will be automatically attached to it. So when you become a when you are a professional, so you should use this, okay, that is regards from what is your name and other details you can send it. So for every email it will be sent automatically, no need to type it, okay. So that we can call it as the signature. So these are the one example. So when you open a email, so this is how it looks like, okay. So the user agent message folders, we have all items, inboxes, networks, and travel. And so this is like you can create different folders, okay. And we can also have the search facility from where you are received it, subject and received. So whenever you are sending a message without any subject, it will give a pop-up message that you are not provided any subject, or you are not given any proper information. So it is always better to have from, I mean from will be automatically readable. Subject is also very important to mention, so that whether, I mean the user will get to know, the receiver will get to know whether the important email is very important or no, and received time and date, all this information will be present. Then this is the message body. And also in the message formats, when you are sending it, you can send it to many multiple users or single users that we discussed. And also you can send the mail message to this is like from to whom you are sending. Also CC stands for carbon copy, so you can send it. For example, if I want to send a message to my manager as well as my CEO, so what I can do, I can send a message to my manager and CC, that is carbon copy to the my higher authority. Similarly, we can use the blind carbon copy. Okay, so also that can be sent, and it will have from person or people who created the message, sender, email address of the actual sender. So to understand this from and sender, like for example, if I create a message, I will send to the class representative. So I am the originator of the email, and the class representative will forward it to some other students. So from will always have who has actually created the message. So in the sense, in the from, my name will appear. So when the sender, so if some XYZ students receives the email, he will have sender as the class representative, and from will be my email ID. Then the receiver line added by each transfer agent along the route. So if you go on transferring, forwarding it, so those all names will appear. And return path can be used to identify a path back to the sender. So if you are the 10th recipient or if you are the 12th recipient, you can search from where it was started and from whom you have received it. So these are all the information that are present in the header, and these are the meaning of it. So these are the basic important things that you need to know when you want to send an email. So this is the basic working of a email system. Let us understand in detail about the SMTP. Okay, so the simple mail transfer protocol is an internet standard for electronic mail transmission. So this is the protocol is very much required. It accepts incoming connections and copies messages from them into the appropriate mailboxes. So what it will do is, as we know, it is a push operation. It will take the email messages and push into the message transfer agents. If a message cannot be delivered, an error report containing the first part of the undelivered message is returned to the sender. Like for example, when I send a message, if the message is not delivered, so I will get a this error message that the message is not transferred. So when I try to send it next time, so that time the information will be present in the mail server, then the mailboxes. So in the intermediate server will take care of that. That means like yesterday we discussed in the cache. So the same message will be present in the cache. So only the email ID will change, because I have initially have sent the wrong email ID. So I will send the email ID properly. The messages will be present in the mailboxes itself. So this protocol will take care of delivering the message from the source to the destination. So basically it uses the TCP connection, and we have different port numbers. Like for FTP we have different, for HTTP we have different, like 8080, and for SMTP we have 25. So it will look into the port number 25 for receiving the computer. Now the sender and client is waiting for the receiver to reply. The mail server is listening to port number 25. So the mail server that is present at the receiver side, it will be checking whether there is any incoming connection request. So once the connection request is received at the port number 25, the server sends a line of text describing its identity and willingness to accept the email. So it will identify whether there is any incoming connection that is being sent from the sender. If that is there, so if it is ready to, if willingness to accept the mail, then the connection will be established. The server is willing to accept the mail, the client informs about the senders and receivers email addresses. So if the server is ready to send the message or receive the message, it will inform both the sender and receiver that yes, the email will be sent now. If such a recipient exists at the destination, server will accept it. The client then sends a message to the server and acknowledges it. So at the same time, the client then sends the message to the server that I have also already sent the message, and also in the receiver side I already received the message, and the same information will be acknowledged to the server, and that information will be received to the originator. And then when an email is exchanged, the connection is released. So once the connection, the message is sent from the source to the destination without any errors, we can say that the connection will be automatically released. We have already discussed symmetric release and asymmetric release. So the connection will be automatically disconnected. But some of the drawbacks that we have in the SMTP is it doesn't include any authentication. So it is useful for spam mails. So if you're using SMTP, the one problem that we have is the authentication. So it is useful for the spam mails. So usually the hackers, they will use this SMTP, so that we can, I mean, they can send us spam mails, okay, or the junk files. Basically, when we are using the advertisements and all, so to the hackers will use this spam mail. So it is always good habit, if you keep on changing your email ID, I mean, your email passwords regularly for like 15 days or at least say for 2 months, it is a good practice. SMTP transfers messages using the ASCII. Hence, however, ASCII encoding doesn't effectively use the bandwidth. So, I mean, when you send an email message, it will be sent within a fraction of second. These days, one is we have got a good internet facility, and also it uses the ASCII encoding scheme. So it doesn't efficiently use the bandwidth. So it will not use more bandwidth because it converts everything in terms of ASCII encoding scheme. So it sends the message very quickly. Next, SMTP does not provide for encryption or privacy of data information. So it doesn't provide the encryption. That is why the hackers use this spam mails, so that there is no encryption is available. So in the next coming chapter, we are going to discuss how this public key cryptography works. So, but so because of that, we can use one more. I mean, this was the first message protocol that was used, but later on, when the we enhanced the features of email messages and graphical messages were required, we started using the MIME, that is the multi-purpose internet mail extension. So let us understand this MIME protocol now. So it is widely used for mail messages that are sent across the internet, as well as to describe for other applications. Like in the MIME, we can use it for different variety of applications. In the earlier SMTP, we used basically for only text-based information, or say very few graphic-based information. But in the multi-purpose mail instruction, we can use it for the describing different varieties of applications or different variety of format of programs. We can send it using the MIME protocol. The basic idea of MIME is to continue to use the RFC 822 format, but defines 5 new message headers. So we can use different varieties of, it comes with the MIME version, content description, content ID, content transfer, and content type. So let us understand multi-purpose. As the name suggests, we can use it for sending different categories. Like here they are given. Okay, we'll take up this now. So MIME version identifies the MIME version, that whether you are using RFC 822 or the RFC 2045 or RFC 4888 4288. So whether which version of MIME you're using, that will be informed by this MIME version. Next, we have the content description. So header is an ASCII starting string telling what is in the message. So content description is human readable string. So what is there exactly in the message, that comes under the content description. So if you are sent any message or hello, how are you, and all this information that you have sent, that will comes under the content description. Next is the content ID. Header identifies the content. It uses the same format as the standard message ID header. So from where you are received the message, that will be present in the content ID. So this is the unique identifier to individually know the email IDs. Next we have is the content transfer encoding. So that tells how the body is wrapped in the transmission. So this how the message is enveloped or how it is wrapped, that information will be displayed by this content transfer encoding. Next we have is the content type, the type and format of the content. So the types can be any one of these. So let us take quickly the examples. Type can be a text, a image, audio, video. Like it can be a plain text, or it can be HTML, or it can be extensive markup language, or it can be a CSS file, and so on. So text in various formats. So text can be in a plain format, or it can be in HTML format, on XML, and so on. So content type can be also image, if it can be extension of GIF, JPEG, and TIF, or you can also have the audio file you can send with a MP4 or MPEG format, or video format also you can send. And application you can send PDF files, zip files, and so on. So different variety of applications with different formats you can send by using the MIME protocol. So to know, basically to send, to conclude the session, we use this mail facility to send the information, not only the text information, also we can use this send to, I mean, multiple with the multi-purpose internet mail extension, we can send variety formats of applications by using this header formats and with the proper encoding schemes. So basically it uses the RFC 822. So you need to remember the working of the email system, the email architecture, and what are the basic functionalities that are, what are the entities that are available in this, the message transfer agent, I mean the user agent, message transfer agent, what is mail submission, and how the message will be delivered. And then we can have this SMTP and what are the features that are available. Basically we need to remember that the port number that will be used by SMTP is the port number 25. And also the limitations that we use, I mean why we don't prefer SMTP, because I mean in the latest technology, because it doesn't provide any encryption privacy, I mean, and also it is easy for the hackers to send the spam messages and get to know our your all personal information. So to overcome with that, we have the one more latest protocol, that is the multi-purpose internet mail extension. So that's all for the today's session.